National Association of Realtors, the largest trade group in the world. How awesome, right? How great to be represented by them. And Patrick, do me a favor and just kind of set the table and tell us what the suit was about, what the settlement is about. Give us the cliff notes and what may change as a result of this come July.
What may change? Probably not much, but what happened? So, a group of certain home sellers didn't like the idea that they were paying both the seller and both their agent and the buyer's broker. If you don't know, if you're not aware of how that works, when you list your home, typically what happens is you will have a listing agreement with your agent, and that listing agreement will spell out how much you're paying in commission. And in Chicago area, it's typically about 6%. Nationwide, it's anywhere between 5 and 6%, depending on where you are. Now, of that 6%, a portion of that typically gets shared with whichever broker brought your buyer. And in the Chicago area, if I'm not mistaken, it's about 2.5%. So that of that 6%, we're just going to use that number. A portion of that goes toward the broker that brought the buyer, who negotiated with your broker and was representing someone who was, not aligned with your interests. So that was like the first thing that kind of, rubbed people the wrong way. And then ancillary to that, you have the notion that if it's the listing broker determining how much of that share, how much of their commission they're going to share with the buyer's broker, the buyer is they are not empowered to negotiate what they're paying their broker. So there's a bunch of stuff that that was viewed as anti-consumer, and ultimately they filed a lawsuit alleging illegal collusion, stating that basically the reason that everyone was paying across the country essentially the same amount of commission was due to the fact that real estate brokers were basically had an implicit agreement that this is what it is, and they won. They won
big.
The $1.8 billion is what the jury in the Sitzer Burnett case awarded the plaintiff.
I mean, I guess if you call that big, right?
I mean, who knows anymore, right? Like, being a billionaire seems to be like just the entry level of being a super rich person. It used to be a big deal. I don't know. So anyways, time passed, and there's so many little different like offshoots, off ramps to go and to discuss things. I think a big part of eventually the National Association of Realtors, the dominoes kind of fell. You had Remax, you had Anywhere. They settled pretty early on, actually pre-trial. You had Keller Williams that settled after trial, and then eventually the National Association of Realtors settled, and that brought in any brokerage that does, I think, less than $2 billion in a given year was brought in under the umbrella of the National Association of Realtors agreement. Now that leaves some out that need to opt into the agreement. They're not automatically they're not automatically covered, and in connection with some other things that they agreed to do to change practices in the real estate business, the National Association of Realtors agreed to pay these plaintiffs $418 billion. So you go, wow, that's a lot less than $1.8 billion.
It's over 4 years, so
Well, yeah, sure. I mean, it's like just some change you found in the cushion at your couch. But
about what I pay in dues every year. So
I don't know. Didn't you say $156? There's a little delta there.
I'm going to bring John Hoffman on. John.
Well,
hey, boys.
Okay, go ahead, Patrick.
156 times 1.4 million members.
It's about $250 million, not to mention the $45 a year we each pay to finance their community awareness campaigns, which I mean, there's so much